All right. Welcome to the Inkwell.
The Inkwell.
I'm Gabe Windt.
And hey.
This week, we've got a special guest.
How did I know it was going to be that?
My good buddy, Stephen Hill, also known professionally as Sharky Steve.
Sharky Steve. Sharkleberry Steve.
Sharkleberry Steve.
Yeah. And
Big Steve.
Big Steve. Instagram Big Steve Tattoo. No S. The original OG of the largest Steves.
I'm so glad you wore your shark shirt.
And I wore my Jack Black inspired shark shirt.
All right, enough of that.
Because he always wears the lion shirts or the ones with the wolves howling,
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Big Steve!
At the Inkwell. The well of ink. Yes, applause. Turn the light on.
Those aren't real people.
No, those are pre-recorded.
Anyway, what's up, man?
Nada. What's going on with you?
Oh, just hanging out, doing a podcast, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen ever, though.
I mean, I think so.
But, yeah, so I'm here to talk about some tattoo shit.
Yeah, we're here. In fact, I just tattooed today.
Yeah, you tattooed
So fresh.
Kate, who I'll be talking to next.
Yes.
But
in a future episode. Possibly.
So.
We'll see.
Tell me.
If Gabe ever puts these out on the internet.
Oh, they'll be going on. I'm dropping the first one Saturday, July 1st.
Which is fitting.
When you guys all see this one, that'll be in the past, so it's kind of like we're doing a little time travel here.
Kind of.
So anyway, tell me a little bit about your history in the tattoo industry.
Well, I've been tattooing for around 18 plus years, and I have been a traveling tattooer.
Well, how did you get started in the tattoo industry?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I didn't really want to work for my parents' company anymore. It's lawn maintenance. I'm a ginger. Doesn't really work out that well. Yeah.
You think about the sun and you
I explode.
Start cremating.
Into a big engulfed in flames.
So, okay, how'd you get your start then? You didn't want to work for your parents anymore.
Well, so there was a local tattoo shop that I went and got an apprenticeship at, and let's move this over here. Here we go. Talk into the microphone.
Yeah, talk into the microphone.
Yeah, so I ended up getting an apprenticeship, working through it, and then they wanted me to buy the studio, and I was like, okay. So I bought the studio from the gentleman that were running it, and ran it successfully for 5 years or so. And that's pretty much how it worked. A lot of, just hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
Keeping the nose to the grindstone.
Yeah. So when you first started, did you do any shows or anything like that, or were you just exclusively at your shop?
No, we just hung out at the shop mostly. I didn't start traveling until, years later when I started at Electric Chair, where I'm at now.
So the name of your shop, it was Below the Surface Tattoo?
It was, yep. Mm-hmm.
And then after, so you sold that shop back to
the guys that I had originally bought it from, because I wanted to move on a bit. I thought I had enough in that position. I was feeling a little stagnant, needed a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had it successful for multiple years then, like
yeah,
5 years.
Over 5 years. Yeah.
But then I remember, because you and I have been working together for like 10 years now.
Plus, actually, in July will be my 12th year at Electric Chair.
And then this last February was my 10 years back at Electric Chair.
Right, because you were in Indiana for a little while.
So I remember when I had come back and you had already sold the shop back to those guys, and they ended up running it right into the ground. Yeah, pretty quickly.
Unfortunately, it was quite quickly. I think 6 to 8 months, and they had it all closed up, which is, I guess, just desserts, because they were all right guys, but they did myself a little dirty on a couple of times.
Yeah, they didn't treat you too well.
No, not really.
And then I know of one of them in the industry. I mean, we don't have to name names or anything, but
right.
he ended up screwing over a lot of people, clients and everything.
Yeah, he liked to take deposits and never show up for appointments.
Yeah. A few of my clients.
Yeah, actually, I've been seeing a lot of those.
I ended up finishing a lot of his work.
But indeed.
So
but a couple of the other guys, they continued tattooing in the city, and I think one of them does barbecue now, and I'm not sure about the others.
Cool. So now you said you've been with Electric Chair now for 12
years.
12 years, and I've been back for 10. So you and I have been friends for a while now.
Yeah.
Freaking lifetime. Our kids go to school together.
They do. Yep.
They
have constant slumber parties.
So do you think you started developing your style before you came to Electric Chair, or what? Did you start developing it when you had Below the Surface and then kind of refined it as you came to Electric
Yes,
Chair?
Actually, your first podcaster, Jordan Krakowskis, Jordan's Tattoos, he was a good friend of mine also in the early years of tattooing, and we got along because we had a very new schooly kind of upbringing, but pretty much kind of brought that into a little more illustrative, kind of neo-trad style.
Yeah.
Lots of black work and
Fun.
that kind of stuff. Funny tattoos. I like funny tattoos.
Yeah, you don't really like doing any like the dark, scary kind of stuff. Like you're not the biggest
really
fan of like skulls and stuff like that.
Yeah, the darker imagery I don't really go for, but I like to do some black trad stuff and a little bit of occult stuff too. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it to tattoos that make people smile.
Yeah. So you like having a good time with it.
Oh, absolutely. I'd rather do a funny tattoo over a good money-making tattoo.
Do you have any favorites that stand out to you that you've done over the years?
No, there was this one tattoo I was trying to sell for a few years at the conventions is a panini inside of a peony, and I named it the Peonini, and that was a fun tattoo to do. A realistic panini sandwich inside of a traditional Japanese peony. It was kind of funny.
Say that 10 times.
It's tough. It's tough. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. No, and then just fun tattoos. I like tattoos that make people laugh.
So what kind of stuff influences you or inspires you?
Pun tattoos. Tattoos that you look at and go, holy shit, that was dumb. Well, that's my bread and butter. Dumb tattoos.
Like that lost Bic lighter one.
Yeah, missing lighter.
Missing lighter.
Oh, hell yeah. No, and I've been doing a lot of the sticker tattoos and the embroidery tattoos and stuff lately.
I seen over the last, I'd say over the last 2 years, you started dabbling in those a little more, and then it's grown to...
It's super popular nowadays. Yeah. There's some big names in the industry that do those styles, and I'm definitely very inspired by them.
So when you're developing your artwork for a client, would you say that you look for inspiration from other artists, or do you look for inspiration elsewhere?
Definitely from other artists. Being traveling for so many years, I've got to meet just a bunch of amazing tattooers, and through them and just the years of practice and whatnot, I that's what I kind of, the way my style goes.
So I remember when you guys went on the road, but for everybody that doesn't know the history of that, tell me how it all started for you, with all your glory years on the road and everything. Tell me how that all got started.
Well, it all started with Josh Garrix, and he's going to be on the podcast as well here pretty soon. And we just started doing a couple of gigs here and there. There was a really cool show in Grand Rapids quite a few years ago. It was a one-time show, and we actually met most of the good friends at that show. It was really fun.
Yeah, because then after that, wasn't your guys' first show like the Chicago show or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I think, it was Chicago.
Because it was like you, Josh, and...
It was Justin Howell as well.
Justin Howell as well, yes.
He's at one of our other locations. We have 4 locations.
So you guys got started with that, and that first year, how many shows do you think you did that first year?
Oh, maybe 3 or 4.
And then it just started snowballing from
Yep,
there.
yep. And then we just grew to love being on the road and meeting new people every weekend in a different, place.
Did
just
you work out there a little more?
Absolutely.
So then, so from there, tell me how the Ink Wizards got started. Tell me about that.
Well, Josh and I were traveling quite a bit, and we had made some friends who are also from Michigan, and they had just kind of, lost a couple of people from their travel squad. So they were like, "Hey, you guys want to come on with us and do a couple of shows?" And Josh didn't really wasn't into it quite so much at the beginning, so I decided to go out on the road with them and just see how it was.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who was all in that at first?
Originally, it was CJ, Inky Jones. She was on Ink Master the second season, I believe, and Mama Kate. She's fantastic. They're both super good tattooers. And then so we started doing a couple shows that ended up being pretty cool, and met a bunch of new people. So then Jordan jumped on, and then Josh jumped on, and then there's a young lady named Sarah Giacalone. She jumped on with us. She also, she works at a different studio now, but she worked with us for quite a while.
With us for quite a while. She did her apprenticeship with Josh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a long time affiliated.
Yeah. When I got to the studio in the olden days, I guess back in the day, I don't remember what year it was. She was working at the studio, but then ended up leaving for a while. She
left
moved up to the UP.
Yeah, she went to Marquette.
Yeah.
She went to Marquette, and that's exactly when I came back
Mm-hmm.
and filled that spot.
Right. Yep.
So I moved back to Bay City from Indiana, and I took over Sarah's old booth.
Yeah, so we started the Ink Wizards at that point in time. We were just, doing a few shows here and there, but then it really started picking up. We ended up doing almost 25 shows a year.
Yeah,
for quite a few years.
So you guys had the coolest travel banners. The magic card.
The magic cards, yeah.
Banners.
No, actually, Josh and I started that where we were traveling together. We did 4 or 5 shows, and we were like, hey, we need banners that match, so it looks like we're together, hanging out. Way more of a team.
Do you think that started getting you guys noticed?
Oh, absolutely.
Having really cool, recognizable style.
Yeah, the
banner
retro
that.
banners, they were made to look like Magic the Gathering cards. So we had our own playable cards that had, things that you could use in the game if the people you're playing against,
And for all you guys that are watching this on YouTube, I'll do some movie magic and throw a little clip of each of their cards up there so you can see what we're all talking about here.
So Jeremiah Teets was our leader. He's an amazing guy into lots of cool exotic animal stuff.
So
being
on the road with all those guys, and you had that diverse crew with you, and then you had Jeremiah at the helm and everything. Now I know you guys had some fun, wild, exciting times at some moments, and some weird things happen on the road, and some wild, big encounters with animals and everything like that. So tell me some of your highlights over the years of some stuff that you really remember.
What I really remember, it's because we would go in, we pull in on a Thursday, set up, get trashed. Friday, get there.
Sharky Steve.
Never. I think
not the shark on the bar.
No, so we would work Friday.
He's influencing me today to drink people.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
No. Labels out.
Yeah, labels in.
Laces out, Dan.
Yes, that's what it is. I need a new pair of shorts.
So. All right, so you guys would show up, come in.
Yep. like a wrecking ball.
Yeah,
and like
swinging like the Kool-Aid Man.
Absolutely. And at that point, the shows were still fairly manageable. You know, they were keeping them to, you know, just under a couple hundred people, and they were still small. But then as we continued over the past, like, you know, it's been about 10 years since we've been traveling, but in the like third year till about the seventh year, that those years in there were the hardcore years. I think that's what I'm gonna say, around like 18, 19, you know, 20, and maybe even 21.
I remember 2020. It was 2019. You guys did like 30 freaking shows that
Yeah,
year.
we were traveling almost every weekend.
I mean, I hardly ever saw you guys at the shop. You guys
Yeah.
were always gone.
No, it ended up being something that we were really all in tuned to. You know what I mean? There was very little squabbling amongst any of us. In fact, we all have amazing sense of humor, and we definitely got some inside jokes that we know because we would drive to every show. We had a big Nissan, big Sprinter van, and a trailer.
Yeah, you guys loaded all up, packed everybody in.
Yeah, and we would drive for hours. And we definitely got to know each other, but there was a lot of sleeping in vans.
That I heard there was some at random times you'd have some exotic animals with you too.
Yeah, like I said, Jeremiah's a rare animal importer, and at some points in time we would have some very interesting, cute animals, and some dangerous ones too.
Any highlights to any of that you can share?
Well, there was one year in Milwaukee. Jeremiah was doing a deal with one of the zoos in town, and I got to sneak a baby,
The baby kangaroo.
because we couldn't leave it in the van all night, so I had to get it into the room. And yeah, so there's a baby.
Did you like
baby
smuggle it
kangaroo
in your hoodie or something like that?
No, it was in a backpack, and we were all checking in, and we were like, please don't say anything or make any kind of sounds. It was super fun.
What kind of sound does a kangaroo make?
I hopefully not one that'll get us busted trying to bring a kangaroo into a...
Can you imagine the counter lady? What do you got there?
Right? What is that?
Says no kangaroos allowed.
It's a rabbit, I swear.
Yeah, it's just an ugly rabbit.
Right? Yeah, he's got deformed arms.
He wants to box.
Yeah.
So
No, and a lot of fun, just fun times. I got to go to a lot of zoos. Jeremiah being an animal expert. In fact, he's an expert in sloths, so they call him the sloth boss. Because
I think that's his Instagram.
I believe so. Yeah, he's starting his own zoo.
Yeah, it's like a zoo sanctuary kind of thing for some rare animals.
Yeah. He loves animals. We went to so many aquariums and zoos and private owners that we would go to their ranches, and you know, because he also did some kind of pseudo medical stuff for him too.
So did you like smoke crack with Joe Exotic?
No, never any tigers.
No tigers.
No tigers.
All right. So did you guys do all sorts of shows, or was it like you guys mainly did a lot of Villain Art shows?
Yeah, Villain Arts is the main producer of the shows that we did.
So out of all the shows, I mean, and you guys have done a ton of them. Like
Tons.
From the Midwest down the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't been out to the West Coast yet, correct?
Not as far as Texas. Texas is as far as we got.
You guys did like Dallas, and you were Houston.
Both Dallas and Houston. Yeah. Well, no, since we drove to everything, it was really hard for us to do anything further into the mountain states or even into Cali or Arizona. It's just way too long of a drive. Even to Texas was like a 28-hour drive.
Oh yeah, man. That's far away.
Yeah. And we would drive everywhere because we had all of our gear. You know, we rarely flew. In fact, just in my later years, do I, fly to my shows if I'm going to do them.
Well, yeah, you and I just did the Philadelphia show earlier this year.
Yeah.
We flew there. Man, that was so much
awesome.
better than spending 14 hours in the vehicle with 8 other people sweating and farting on you.
Yeah, the flight was less than an hour.
And we got hammered for free.
Yeah, the flight attendants were just super cool.
Yeah, the flight attendant came by, they were like, yo, I want some drinks. And Steve and I were both like, yeah, give us a double Jack and Coke.
And we were the only ones drinking on the plane. A nice commuter plane, too. Like, there was probably 50 people or more on the plane, and we were the only ones drinking.
Yeah, and they gave us our drinks for free.
Yeah, he was super cool.
Thanks, Delta.
I know, right?
And, yeah, we each had like 2 double Jack and Cokes, and then I remember we got off at, in the terminal at the airport and everything. It was me, you, and my girlfriend, Adriana.
Yeah.
And you and I kept drinking. We were feeling pretty freaking good because everybody else that we were traveling there with, they all drove to that show.
Yeah, they weren't even
brought all
there
the
yet.
Equipment and everything.
Yeah, we left a day late, and we actually beat them.
Yeah, we spent more time driving to the airport than we did in the air.
Literally.
It was great.
Yeah, it was
every
awesome.
freaking penny. It wasn't even that bad. I think it was, what, like $250?
Yeah, it was just a couple $100.
Yeah, I want to do every show like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So then, out of all those shows that you've done and everything over the years, do you have any favorites that you just absolutely love?
The shows, they were kind of all the same. Wake up, tattoo, go to sleep, wake up, tattoo, but a lot of the Thursday nights is when we went out and, really got to see the cities a little bit, at least, as much as we could do, go out to a nice dinner, check out a couple of bars and nightclubs, or the occasional
Thursday.
Right. The occasional, like I said, zoo or aquarium or whatever was going on in the city that we went to. There was a...
Are there any that really stand out to you that you remember you had a great time with or anything like that?
I think a lot of them were good times. It was... The best times were spent with friends that we had made on the... because of the tour. And made lots of connections and friends. So I think those were the best ones. The cities that I really love, I love them for different reasons. Houston was cool. We got these little, I don't even remember what they're called, but they're like these little biscuits with stuff inside of them. We went there like almost every day for like breakfast and whatnot, but I can't remember.
Like a breakfast biscuit?
Yeah, but they had all kinds. They had like meat ones and breakfast ones and whatnot. I can't remember what they're called. It'll come to me here in a second.
Stuffed breakfast biscuits?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember.
Now, after being on the road and everything, you guys would come back and...
I think they were called klatchkis.
Okay.
Something like that. But there was also... The cool thing about Houston is there was this rad all-you-could-eat Middle Eastern buffet in one of the strip malls that was right by the hotel, and I remember we went there a couple of times.
Now, so I've been to a couple shows with you now, and literally going through a show with you, you cannot swing a dead cat without hitting somebody that freaking knows you. Like, everybody freaking knows Sharky Steve.
Well, I was very fortunate. I have a pretty good personality. I've met a lot of people just by talking to them. At that point in time,
smoking and joint with
smoking, out breaks, cigarette breaks, just talking to people. Oh hey, check out this tattoo that I'm doing, or this is my client, because the client would come out and smoke with us. Oh, check out what I'm doing, and just got to meet and mingle.
Yeah.
That's an element that we actually. Did well at was meeting people.
Moving and shaking.
Moving and shaking is what I say.
And then, like that, I'm doing some good, awesome tattoos. You're bringing home some awards. People probably start recognizing you. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, hey, that's the guy that won all those awards last weekend.
Yeah, or even years, too, because I have, in fact, Cleveland, it gets a bad rap, but I love Cleveland, going downtown to Cleveland. Cleveland Tina is what I call her. She's a fantastic lady. She got tattooed by me every year I went to Cleveland. So that was super cool. I like Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Gets a bad rap.
So,
the Barrio, they have amazing build your own tacos and stuff. It was fantastic.
So now, I recently talked to Jordan about this, and him and I agree and disagree on a couple things. So, I absolutely love the tattoo industry. I love everything about it. There's a lot that needs improvement, don't get me wrong, but I love tattooing. I've put over 20 years of my life into it,
Mhm.
and you've put many, many years of your life into it.
as well.
So now, when the pandemic happened, and we had to shut down for a while.
Hmm.
Oh, Alexa's making a little announcement to me right now.
Uh-oh.
Little bitch. So we had to shut down for a while, and then
Yep, during the C vid.
yeah,
I don't know if I can say it
shit.
anymore.
So all the shows stopped that year. There were no travel.
Yeah,
dates or
no,
anything.
they went to an immediate halt. Yeah, so we didn't travel, we didn't tattoo, and I think we were closed for months.
Yeah, we were closed for like 3 months. It
Yeah,
sucked.
yeah, and it was a good time to reflect on, the tattoo industry and the good times and whatnot, because it's completely changed now.
Well, yeah. So that's what I was getting at with asking you is, with all that time on the road and all that time just jamming every day and working your ass off and everything. And do you feel like the industry is taken from you because of like your injury and everything?
No, because I was compensated, quite well, so I don't think it's taken from me. It's a little weird when you go to a show. The shows are way more busy than they used to be, and you see a bunch of these just new people that you've never seen at any shows, because you end up seeing get there early and you see the people setting up, and they're the dedicated ones, or they're the ones that work for big companies, kind of like we did. And not that we worked for a company, but just bigger groups that travel together.
Right. So, when did you first? It was back in like 2019, 2020 when you found out that you had some stuff going on with.
Came on all of a sudden over the year, and just got a little bit worse and a little bit worse, and then I had to start using a cane. And
So it was all with your walk at first, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You thought
yeah.
it was like some lower back stuff.
lower back injury or something, I thought it was, and
Like your,
because I would like trip every once in a while, and that was kind of weird.
yeah, I remember.
I thought maybe it was just because I was drunk or something. I don't know. But it started happening when I was sober too. So
Right. I remember your concern was like you had pinched like a nerve in your lower back, or it was like something to do with your sacrum. Or,
yeah, we thought it was an SI joint injury at first.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was even giving you some physical
Mhm.
therapy advice
Yeah.
because I had been through physical therapy for the SI, the sacroiliac joint,
Yeah.
before too.
Yeah.
So I had given you a couple of exercises that I did that helped me, and then that didn't start helping. So you ended up having surgery.
Yeah, on my C5 vertebrae, I had a pinched spinal cord. They call it it was kind of pinched. I grew an arthritic nodule inside my spine, so it gave me a neurological disorder.
Sounds like a zombie girl.
Kind of brother that I was supposed to have
Yeah, yeah.
out here.
Yeah, so and that's what this is all his hair.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all his hair that grew.
It's my shark belly.
That's a picture of what your would-be brother looks
Yeah,
like.
his name is Bruce.
So now being back and everything, because you had to take quite a bit of time off after your surgery.
Yeah, I
too.
took about a half a year off, and then I came back very slowly.
And you're still kind of like taking it
yeah,
with ease.
I tattoo way more of the stuff that I want to, and not the stuff that I needed to back in the day. I've been very fortunate to be able to do that. Kind of just take a step back and.
Now you're not traveling anywhere near as much.
No. When I finally decided to stop traveling, when I realized I was actually hurt and I had to go have surgery, I decided to just do a couple of shows a year just for fun.
So do you? Now that you still do some shows and everything, you still get like that taste of it and everything. Do you miss that life of being constantly on the road though?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
So what do you miss about it? Just being in a different place, or
Yeah, just being a little free. I have a wife and kids. So when I would go on the Not that I, ever did anything that I would regret, or maybe I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah,
Maybe drank a couple too many beers one night and had
probably
a hangover too bad, and you might regret that.
Yes, yeah, but
No, your family's amazing.
Yeah.
Your wife and your kids are.
They were super supportive of me over my journey, and then even in my injury, they've been super supportive.
Yeah. So, with doing the shows that you're doing, are you kind of picking and choosing more of the shows that you want to do? Like, are there certain ones that you only want to do?
Well, Detroit, since being in a Michigander, Detroit's always been a who's who of tattooers in our state, and then surrounding states.
Well, this year you actually didn't work it.
I haven't worked it in the last couple of years. I just go and
Attend.
attend and mingle, like to hang out with my sponsor company, and just keep face, and they've been fantastic with me since I've been injured.
Yeah, that was
still keeping me on the team and everything.
That was the next thing I wanted to get to is, so you picked up a sponsorship from not just anybody. You picked up a pretty
high end
sponsorship.
I was super blessed to be a part of the Tatsoul family. They're fantastic people, based in California, super cool guys. And in fact, everybody that works for them is super cool. All of their sponsored artists are the creme de la creme, so I've felt very, very honored.
Well, I mean, you've got a wall full of plaques and awards and various accolades that you earned.
Indeed.
That right to sit at that table.
Yeah, no, then they've been fantastic. Like I said, even with the injury, and the fact that I don't really tattoo that much, anymore, they've still been really cool.
Well, yeah, they don't want to lose their Sharkleberry Steve.
I know, right? You got to bring a little shark to the
Right.
table.
So with everything that we talked about, with traveling and where you've been in your career. Now, you've said to me before in private that you feel like you've gotten a lot out of tattooing.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I owe tattooing everything that I have, now.
So what do you feel like the future holds for you with
retirement?
Yeah.
Being a trophy husband. No.
Well, I mean, do you still plan on being involved with the industry?
Absolutely. I think where I'm going to shift, I'm still going to tattoo. I've got a badass apprentice right now, and she's doing great. She's been coming up, so I think that's where I'm going to focus most of my energy is, on her and the way she.
So you're talking about Caitlin, right?
Yeah, I am. This is a mean green bean.
The mean green bean.
Yeah, she's got a couple of names she's trying to shop out.
Yeah. She's going to carve out a great name for herself.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So
I think that's where a lot of my energy is going to go. Traveling, still maybe. There's a possibility that I'll be doing some more things with Tatsoul, so that's awesome.
Heck yeah. Now, when you say retirement, what do you mean by that?
I'm trying not to work anymore, fool.
Yeah, but then you're saying like I'm gonna do these apprenticeships for people, and I'm gonna still travel, and I'm still gonna tattoo here and there. So,
well, I live 5 blocks from the tattoo shop, so I don't think they're ever gonna get rid of me at any point. So, I think that's kind of fun.
Well, no, because even on your days off, you come up there to make sure we're all drinking.
Absolutely, we're having a couple of beverages.
So, all this time that you've spent in the industry, and things that you've seen happen in the industry, the good and the bad.
There have been some bad.
What would you say to somebody that's breaking into the industry right now? Like, what advice would you give them? What would you tell them to avoid doing? Any lessons that you could teach them that, hard lessons that you've learned in your career?
Hard lessons. Just be truthful with your clients, you know what I mean? Turn away something that you don't know that you're gonna do good, especially when you start. There's this great jump to do amazing, cool tattoos, but we all learned on doing, little kanjis and whatnot. There's just to stick with it. You know what I mean? If you're good, then you'll continue, but if you don't have the right people around you and don't have a quality mentor. Granted, there are people that are self-taught in the industry that are doing fantastically.
Right, but they had to claw their way through.
Indeed,
all that,
indeed.
You know?
I would say find a group of dudes that you really like, or even young ladies, because I know a plethora of fantastic female tattooers in the industry.
And they're freaking killing it too.
Absolutely
I could list
killing
probably a dozen right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So just find some quality people in your area, look at their tattoos. If you like them, then, try and learn from them. Or reach out to them, you know what I mean? There's a lot of big, tough, looking dudes, but they're mostly just softies, I've found. And, and the girls.
No, I fucking arm wrestle people.
Right.
So, I appreciate you coming and talking about stuff.
Oh, yeah, this has been great.
Try not to bitch too much about things like I did with Jordan.
No, we'll keep it lively here.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the shift that the industry is in right now?
Well, especially in our town, like just with COVID and everything, it's just become a little more personal. You know what I mean? I think you just you got to be a little more weary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think given our shop and everything,
right?
For example,
the way it is,
I feel like we were able to take that bad situation of COVID, of the pandemic and everything. We all kind of regrouped, and it brought us all together tighter.
I think so.
So when we all came back and taught us all how to appreciate each other more.
And especially when we came back to traveling on the road, that was fantastic. Everybody, they even during the weird gray area where was it a masked show, or did you have to do this, or did you have to have the vaccine or whatever. So that was a lot of really interesting years.
Did you have to wear a freaking mask at any of the shows that you did?
Oh yeah, there were quite a few shows that the cities hadn't opened back up like fully yet, so we had to use all kinds of PPE.
Did you see any crazy clients coming in there with the dishwashing gloves on and the gas mask
and
everything?
Space suits and whatnot. There were a few, but
their hazmat suits looking like a beekeeper.
We were always overseen by the health department, and they were really good to us and told us what we needed to do, and then we just followed the rules.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I will cut this one a little short today.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
On the podcast. Well,
the Inkwell
podcast.
Podcast. He finally decided to stick with the name.
So how can people find you once again on your social?
If you have a dumb tattoo you want, you can hit me up at Big Steve Tattoo on Instagram, and just kind of go from there. Not Big Steve Tattoos, no S, just tattoo. Yes,
singular.
The one Big Steve.